Good evening. Um, Happy Easter. Happy Resurrection Day. So today is Sunday, April the 17th, 2022. The time is now 3:26 p.m. And this morning I got some very sad news about our little puppy. Well, my daughter puppy. I keep saying ow because I got so used to him. He was so full of energy. And he always run to me, want me to pick him up. I just got used to him. But he died this morning, and it was really hurting me because to see how he was suffering. And I just wanted to heal him. I just kept praying and just kept praying and asking the Lord to heal him. And he died. And I've never owned a dog before. And at this state, I don't think I will. My daughter she's had two puppies. But Nova, she was maybe about the same age as I don't know how old Nova was. She was some months old. She was younger than baby. She could have been 4 months old. I'm not sure. But she died from Parvo. That's a terrible, terrible, terrible death. She had he had all this. He had his shots, but he still caught it. And see, my daughter didn't think he could catch it because they gave him the shots when they was, I think, 4 weeks old. And that was the last puppy that we had. Baby puppies. Coco, she just had her puppies. So now I'm kind of scared about them. Um, Parvo is a virus that dogs catch by a puppy catch it outside in the yard. Like when you have older dogs and they pooping out in the yard, and the younger dogs sniffing it and smelling it and sniffing stuff on the ground and stuff, and they can catch it from the older dogs' poop, or either why whoever's cutting your grass, if they got dirty blades on their lawnmower, they can catch it because they can bring Pablo from somebody else's yard to your yard. So that's why I want to talk about it, because I decided I'm gonna just start buying stuff. I don't know if any other dog will catch Pablo or not, but if they do, I'm gonna be ready for it. As soon as they start throwing up and having a diarrhea, because a dog will die within a week, especially a puppy, and if they last that long. So I decided I'm gonna start buying stuff and having it here just in case. I looked at a lot of different videos, so you can't depend on the veterinarian. My daughter took Smokey to the veterinarian, and they tested him to see if that cost just the test cost $70, but he wouldn't write a prescription because he said he had to examine the dog. Why you got to examine the dog if you already tested it and it got Pavo? And then he gonna charge $500 to for the exam and to write the prescription. Then you got to buy the medicine. So many people, they just greedy. It don't make no sense how greedy people are. So I decided that I'm going to start buying bags of saline and get the gauges and the needles and getting other medicine that I'm seeing on these videos, and make sure I have it in case anything else happens. Because I can't take it. I'm very, very sensitive. And it just broke my heart to see him suffer like that. And I didn't know, I'm not used to the Pavo. I'm not even used to dogs, to tell you the truth, in the house. But I'm gonna look at some more videos and see if I can learn how to place an IV in the dog, because that's what they were saying. They give them an IV and they put it in the neck. But I did see one video where they had it in his little paw. So I'm trying to learn as much as I can how to treat this disease, because other people have treated it. Actually, the father of the puppies, he had it when he was a puppy, but he got healed. And that's what I kept telling my daughter. I said, do you think he got parvo? She said, no, he don't have no parvo. You know, sometimes people think they know everything. You know, you just got to realize you don't know everything. That's why I be telling people, I don't know everything, and I don't try to think that I do. Because I kept saying, you think he got parvo? No, he don't have parvo. He had his shots. Other people say they dog had shots too, but they still caught parvo. So having the shots is not going to stop the dog from getting parvo. Keeping your yard clean. When they out there having bowel movement, go out there and clean it. That's what I used to do at the other house. I would go out there when baby would go out there and poo. I wouldn't clean it every day, but maybe every other day. I didn't like for it to just pile up. And then when Chloe came and then uh, Ello came, that was a $3. I'm gonna get ready to go out there because they neither one of my dogs, so I wasn't gonna do all that cleaning. Then being getting shot at by that man across the fence. But you have to keep your yard clean. Either way, um, just have your puppy in one area, have it, like maybe a little small fence or something where it can only be in that one area where the bigger dogs don't be, and keep that area disinfected. And my daughter said you can clean, saturate the ground with Clorox, and only you cut that area. Get a weed eater and keep the blade of the weed eater sterilized. But most of these weed eaters have that strain. But I had brought a blade one time for one of my weed eaters, and I had gave the weed eater and the blade to this guy I know, and he just had it sitting in his truck, and his grandson took it and thought it was a frisbee and threw it, and it went in the woods. So that was $30-something down the drain. But he paid me back. So you gonna pay me for my blade? And so he did pay me. I didn't get any another one. So I just used the little strings. But I'm gonna try to learn all I can about Papa, because I don't never ever want to see that again. He was so pitiful. Cause I'm used to seeing him just try. He be just try. This is what it sound like when it really sound like he tried. And he always running up to me, getting up on the chair, want me to pick him up. I'm gonna miss that. Baby, she like for you. She wants to act like a baby sometimes too. I told her, when my daughter came back today, baby was all up in her. I said, "You look, you your name, baby. You not no baby." But he's saying, it's just like how cancer eat up a person. I seen one person die from cancer, and God sent me to the hospital to read John 9 to him. And when I heard God say it, because I didn't even go to church that day, God told me to go visit these two people, and I didn't even know. I used to live right in front. Well, the guy, he used to live across the street from me. I didn't know who the lady was, but they was members of the church I went to, but they didn't actually go. His mama went to church with me, and I knew his wife, and I never knew his name though. I didn't know her name. I just knew I used to live in front of him. And when God told me to go visit them in church and read John 9, I called the hospital and they said the lady had already went home. So I was gonna go. I wasn't gonna go right there. God said go now. So I got dressed and I started walking. I was gonna walk to the hospital, which was a good walk, but I walked that way before, so I was gonna walk. And by the time I got at the end of our complex, this lady said, "Where you going?" I said, "I'm going to the hospital." She said, I'll give you a ride. I'm on my way to the hospital," because she worked at the hospital. I didn't even know she worked at the hospital. She was one of my church members. And so she took me to the hospital. And when I got to the room, I saw who it was. I realized, I knew who she was. I still didn't know who he was because he looked real old. And before he got the cancer, he was like a muscular man. But he just looked, just old. And I told her, the Lord sent me there to read John 9. And so when I started reading John 9, she wanted to dispute with me about, God don't answer sinners' prayers. So I was trying to tell her they was calling Jesus the sinner. There's a lot of people, they read stuff, but they don't understand what they're reading. She actually wanted to dispute with me. And then was saying that she had just talked to somebody about John 9 that morning. And I read, because God told me to. She can dispute all she wants to. And so another woman came in there, and she listened. And so as I was reading, he wanted to sit up on his pillow. So I got on one side of his bed and his wife was on the other side, and we like pulled him up because he was so weak he couldn't even pull himself up. So as I started reading, this man now before he couldn't even raise up. He sat up in that bed. He said God told him to wake up and listen. And he actually sat up all the way up and said, "Ooh, God told me to wake up and listen." So God wanted him to hear, because evidently they was telling him God don't hear sinners' prayers. So evidently his wife was in a one of them holiness church, and I don't know if he went to church. I don't think he did. So they probably let him know that God don't hear sinners' prayers. But they were calling Jesus the sinner. And that's pretty much was it. I walked back home. But when I left, I heard God say all is well. But he died. And so I was like confused about that. I was saying, Lord, you said all is well. So when at his funeral, I was singing on the choir, and his wife got up and testified that before he died, he said there was a room full of angels in his room. And God let me know his soul was saved. That's all is well. Just because a person died don't mean it's not well. It's well with them, because our real self is in us. This is just a body. And so his real self, it was well with his real self, because he know that God hear his prayers. He can go ahead and pray. God will hear his prayer. God, I'm about to cry. So his mom, one day there was this prophet. He came and he told his mama that God said what you praying for will happen in 3 days. And I just felt that she was praying for her son. So God told me that my son was with him. I was really worried about my son, because I know my son lived in the world, but he repented. I didn't think you could just live a sinful life and just die. Repent before you die. But God was preparing him before his death. So God would wake me up out my sleep and help me to call my son early that morning and talk to him about God and his part. And because I wasn't married, But my son is the man of the family because he's a grown man, and for him, God had told me that he had. I actually went to open vision. I was watching television. Every time I go on open vision, mostly I be watching TV, and I saw my son at the altar, not at the altar, but at the thing where the preacher preach at. He was dressed in white, and he was repenting for giving me such a hard time of being a rebellious son to me. And I could see me sitting on the front row, and I was just smiling. And then I came out of it. But then God actually, I heard God say to tell my son to get out of the streets because he want to use him. And my son knocked on the door because he didn't really live with me. He come and spend the night sometime when he's in the area. And he knocked on the door, and I said, God told me to tell you to get out them streets. He want to use you. Actually, he told me to talk to this woman too who was on drugs. And God told me to tell her he didn't create her to be a whore. He told me that too. Oh boy. And she got mad with me when I told her, and she didn't accept it. And I told her, I saw you as a missionary, and you were dressed in all white, had your hair in a French robe. She was looking good too. And I said you were passing out those little pamphlets that people passes out. And I told her where I used to live at. It wasn't apartments. It was like a little shopping center. And she was walking in all white, passing out those pamphlets. But she didn't accept it from me. So this other lady told her what I said. And then she come telling me what the woman said. But I done told you that way before she told you. But she wouldn't accept it from me. So, I didn't know I was going to talk about all that. But like I said, when I get on, when I get to talking, I feel like I'm talking to y'all. Whoever look at this video, and things just start coming up in my head for me to talk about. And if you're gonna buy a pet and have him out in the yard, clean your yard, disinfect the yard, and have the dog only in an area where you're not gonna be having other people cut your grass. You cut it, just have like a weed eater where you can cut it yourself and have it where nobody else can. The other dogs, the big dogs can't go in that area and they drop it, and if they do, if your dog, the baby dog, the puppy drop is clean it up, and like pour some Clorox right there in that spot wherever you clean up, pour Clorox there. So when they go back out there again, there won't be no germs out there. That's what I would do. But I don't think I want to own no dog. I don't know. I just don't know. But I want to prepare just in case one of these. I don't know if they're gonna keep it as a puppy, but maybe one. But Chloe had 10 puppies, and only 7 lived. 3 died. 3 were born stillborn because they were ill or too long. Um, they supposed to give birth every hour, and one puppy every hour and a half. And the first puppy that died had been in her for over 2 hours. And that was the first boy. She had all them girls, and the first boy died because that's what they wanted, a boy. They were going to keep the boy. And then the other 2, they had been in there for hours because they weren't even here. She had them took Chloe to her fiance house because the puppy wasn't feeding. And she didn't know what to do, so she took Chloe and the puppies to her fiance house. And then she had 2 more puppies. But he said he didn't even look at them. He don't like to look at blood. Oh, but I watched this. I watched Chloe get her birth to all those babies. After they had the first puppy, the rest of them just come out. They don't. I said, "Oh, they was a champ." I was hollering and screaming. That's how I did when I had my baby, because they didn't give me nothing for pain. Oh no, Lord, but that was some pain. I felt like a monster was coming out of me. I begged the Lord to go ahead and kill me. Go ahead and let me die. I was hurt so bad. With my last two, they didn't give me with none of my children. Golly, I just had all natural childbirth, and I don't know why they wouldn't give me nothing. Not even with my first baby. And then they had the nerve to cut me down there and sew me back up. Good gracious. I had that I had my oldest child in Washington DC at Howard University Hospital. They had a room full of interns. And so when I walked up and had me by the hand while I was giving birth, I grabbed that intern by the back and had to pull down on that bed. I was just in so much pain. And after I gave birth to my oldest child, a bunch of doctors came in there talking, laughing and stuff, showing me, because I'm from the South. They were laughing at my accent. And they came in and saw me and stuff. I was surprised they would come in and see me. But there was a bunch of them came and see me. There was like groups of I don't know what they were so amazed about though. I'm quite sure they heard people with accents before. But I'm not going to stay on here too long. I'm just feeling sad. I don't know how I'm going to get out of this little rut. Because that was my little buddy. He was so cute. He was so cute. I thought they were going to keep the girl, because that's what they said they were going to keep cheesecake. But they sold cheesecake. And see, my other daughter brought Smokey, but we kept him here because she with my grandson. I don't know why she didn't keep him there. But I just hard to see that, especially seeing him passing blood from his back, from his. I mean, they won't just a little bit. Everything it was like his guts was coming out. Ooh, he just threw up all on me. But I tell you what, I'm gonna try to be prepared from now on. I'm gonna get. I looked at the video, and the man would tell you, the gauge to get, the needles to get, and try to find some place that sell antibiotics, some ampicillin or whatever it takes, and get the saline bag. I'm gonna get the bags. That's what I want, the bags. Get other stuff like keep you from having diarrhea. I just want to be. I don't never want to see that again. That's why I had said I might want to get me a puppy, but I don't think I'm gonna get one. What's up, baby? Want to play? You want to play? Your play partner gone. Yep, that's what you want. I play. And them two, they played, boy. She couldn't do nothing with Smokey. Smokey would grab her by the leg and he would just chew on her leg. I said, Smokey, stop biting her leg. He was a tough little joker. Lord have mercy. I'm going to miss him. God, I'm going to miss that little puppy. You fall in love with him, you just, and he's so cute. He'll look at you like head to head like that. Darling. I mean, when he was a little old something, when they were first, I mean, they were born fighting. They could hardly see each other, be up fighting, crawling on top of each other. But he was, I would walk up to the cage, and he look at me and back up and then bounce up at me. I said, "Who you bouncing up at?" Barking at me and stuff. Him and Cheesecake. Them were the two most aggressive ones, Smokey and Cheesecake. They was the prettiest little dogs. Well, I reckon I done talked about him enough. I got to try to get him out my system some kind of way. I reckon whenever the other puppy get big enough to come, they'll help me. I'm scared to even get attached to him. But my daughter said she's not gonna let this puppy go outside until after they 8 months old. But I looked at one video that was saying that even adult dogs can catch parvo. They have like a parvo, like a foster home kind of thing for dog with parvo. You keep them a certain amount of time and treat them. And like if you got 2 bathrooms, keep them in nowhere but in that bathroom, and let the vet come and treat them. But I rather get my own stuff. I ain't dealing with no vet. They're gonna charge you $500. Just let them get tested. When they start having a strong bowel movement, get them tested again. Make sure they don't have parvo. That's why I want to learn how to give the IV myself. Put them, put them in a separate bathroom that you don't use. Just leave them in that bathroom until they get well. But I got to get off here because I'm hearing that bullhorn. That's what I call it, bullhorn, because that's what it sounds like. Something loud, bull, 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 bull. So that means somebody got a signal, that's kind of signal coming up in here. But they keep that in here. But I hear the seal. I hear both. I hear the sizzle and the bullhorn. Take the truth. That food truck was on for a long time today too. That people over there, they got stuff on their cars. I'm seeing more and more new people coming. Cars that I never seen before parked back there. I think they're gonna try to do something to that house right there. I don't see somebody go to that house right there. When they start getting in all these houses, they can get in them all they want to because I know how to leave from around here. I know how to leave from around here. All right, y'all have a blessed holiday. Be blessed in the Lord. Don't eat too much. I didn't even cook. I didn't even cook. I cooked breakfast, but I didn't cook no special Easter dinner or nothing like that. I could eat me some fried chicken. I don't know. I just love fried chicken. Home that like not like the Kentucky fried chicken. I be wanting like homemade fried chicken. I didn't even. I had so much on my mind. I won't even think of holiday. I won't even think of holiday. Okay, I keep saying I do that all the time. Let me get off here, then I start talking about something else. Bless.